Shalom everyone, Parashat Re'eh, Tafshin Peivav. Re'eh natati lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. See, I am giving you today a blessing and a curse. At first glance, this sounds very simple. If a person's eyesight is not impaired, then when he receives a blessing, he can see the blessing. And when, God forbid, he receives a curse, he sees the curse. But throughout the Torah, and especially in Sefer Dvarim, Moshe Rabbeinu teaches us that there is something much deeper going on here. The blessing and the curse are not only what happens to us. What is of greater value is how we see what happens to us. Do we recognize that something is a blessing? Do we fail to see the blessing that is right in front of our eyes? And what happens when something bad happens to us? Do we simply say, well, that's just bad luck, nothing could be done about it? Or do we stop and ask ourselves, maybe there's something I am doing that is bringing this about? And if we realize that there is, do we wake up? Do we change? Do we stop doing whatever it is that is bringing the curse? Let's go back to the blessing. A person can have enough money to live comfortably and enough left over to help other people. And he can look at that and say, what a beautiful blessing. He can be grateful for it, enjoy it, use it to make his own life better and other people's lives better, and he is happy. Another person can become extremely wealthy, and what might happen? He closes himself off, he becomes obsessed with himself, he closes up within himself, he becomes selfish, he becomes a bad person to the people around him, and eventually he can lose everything. That was the mistake of the people of Sodom, and that was the mistake of Lot. Lot looked at Sodom and saw the wealth. He saw prosperity, but he didn't see, at least not in the moral sense, what was happening underneath. He did not see that the wealth of Sodom was turning the people of Sodom into terrible human beings. In Parashat Re'eh, the Torah says, you shall eat and be satisfied. Wonderful, great. But then the Torah describes this with two different possibilities. You shall eat and be satisfied, and your heart will become haughty, and you will forget Hashem. Or the other possibility, you shall eat and be satisfied, and you shall bless Hashem. Both have the same material blessing, but do they see the blessing? The prophet Yeshayahu in chapter 54, which is the Haftarah of Parashat Re'eh, promises that Eretz Yisrael will be filled with precious stones, sapphire, ruby, and all kinds of beautiful stones. And Yeshayahu says, all your land will be full of precious stones. Really? Have you heard about the enormous deposits of precious stones that you can find all over Israel? I haven't. If someone wants to go looking for precious stones, I would suggest that he look somewhere else. So what is Yeshayahu talking about? Yeshayahu is telling us, if you want to, you will see the blessing in Eretz Yisrael, and that blessing will be more precious than any gemstone. After the establishment of Medinat Yisrael, the chief rabbinate instituted reciting Tehillim Kuf Zayin, Psalm 107 on Yom Ha'atzmaut. It is a song about Kibbutz Galiot, the gathering of the exiles, and the flourishing of Eretz Yisrael. And how does the psalm end? Yir'u yesharim ve'yismachu. Those who are honest, upright, decent people, they will see, and they will be ve'yismachu, they will rejoice. One who has an upright vision, who looks at reality with wisdom and integrity, can see what is happening in Eretz Yisrael and say, Re'eh, bracha, what a beautiful blessing. And the very last pasuk of that Tehillim says, who is wise and will take note of these things and consider the chesed of Hashem. It's not just physical eyesight, it's the ability through wisdom and integrity to see the blessing of the chesed of Hashem. And this is what I think about when I say in the tefillah, V'techezena eineinu b'shuvcha leTzion. May our eyes behold your return to Tzion. Of course, I'm thinking also of physical eyesight. I pray that I shall live to see Am Yisrael living in Tzion, building a flourishing society, living good and peaceful lives, and turning the blessing into something even greater, a society filled with faith, with kindness, with justice, with generosity, a society that brings blessing to the entire world. But even more than that, I am asking that with my spiritual eyesight, I should be able to see the at least partial return of the Shekhinah, the divine presence, to Eretz Yisrael, to Tzion, and that I should be able to see both materially and spiritually how we can take one step and then another, moving closer and closer towards the vision of the complete rebuilding of Tzion and Yerushalayim. Shabbat Shalom.